Okay, I'm recording now. So I'm going to click, this is my course card. Click on my course card. As you noticed yesterday, I showed you these icons on the course card, and there's a couple more today because I've added a little bit more to this training course. So this little icon is for announcements. This icon is for assignments. This icon's for discussions. This icon's for folders. So if I were to click on the icon, discussion icon, I would be immediately taken, I'm sorry, the announcements icon, I would be immediately taken to announcements in the course. And what's nice is when something new pops up for any of those icons, any of those content areas in a course, you'll get a little badge there and it'll tell you something new is there. And that's what's great for students because they will also see that and on their view. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click into my course. And this is my home page. And you can add whatever you'd like to your home page. You can add course info, an image of yourself, an image of something else, meeting times, course information about yourself, anything you want in your home page. This is considered a page. You can always edit it and add whatever you'd like here. And just to review right here, this is all considered course level navigation. You can adjust any of the content here in your settings, in your navigation, and you can pick and choose what you would like to be available in your course level navigation. If there are things here you are not going to use for fall term, for example, you can, if you're not using perusal, you can click, drag, and drop it down below, and then that will be in the disabled pages section and not available on course level navigation. If you're not going to do any grading in here, you can also move grades out of the way. So you have the ability to modify that as you please. For now, we're going to jump into modules. Modules is kind of the meat and potatoes of a course in terms of a way you can meaningfully organize content in a course. You can add structure to your modules. You can add specific content to your modules. You can move things between modules. You can duplicate modules. But it's a great way for students to be able to get an idea of the organization of your course. So I have a sample module here called Week 1, and there's a lot going on with it. And I purposely added things in here yesterday so that you can see what different things look like in modules in terms of icons. So if you look down here at this module, this is basically a module structure. It has headers. These are all considered headers: overview, reading, assignments, discussions, presentations, lecture, quiz. In your courses for fall, you have a couple modules like this, but you can edit them to be whatever you would like them to be, with the headings that make sense for you in your course. If once you figure out the structure of your modules, what headers you would like, a real quick way to create modules, and you want to do this before you add content, because you don't want to duplicate a module and have to delete a bunch of content. Like, for example, if I wanted to duplicate this module, these things wouldn't apply to other weeks in the course, so that wouldn't make sense. So once you have your module organized, you can very easily duplicate it and then fill in content. You don't have to recreate every single module every single time. This is the basic structure. So up here with this sample module, I have headers, and I have content nested under the different headers. So under my overview, I have a page. So this icon is a page, and I have students can click and they would get to the week 1 welcome page. I have links to, I have an attachment under reading, and then I have a link to an external link to something for reading. So this is an attachment, this is a link. And then here, this is the assignment for icons. So just the pen and paper, pencil paper for assignment. So this is what an assignment icon looks like. Same thing with presentation as an assignment. And then the quiz icon's a little rocket ship. So different content that you put into modules takes on different icons depending on what type of content it is. I will tell you, when I was mentioning duplicating modules, and I'm going to walk you through this in a minute, some things don't duplicate over. So this quiz, if you have a quiz embed in a module and you use classic quizzes, it wouldn't let you duplicate this particular module because I have that quiz in there. But so that's why duplicating modules, it's great to duplicate the shell, but don't duplicate the content because sometimes it won't work with certain content. And then you have to just delete things to add what you want. So one attribute that you can add to a module is kind of, you can use indenting to show sort of a hierarchy of structure. And that's helpful. So you notice that overview is at the same level as the title of the module, but each of the content items are indented one. So everything here has an ellipsis, and the ellipsis will let you do different things. So let's start at the top of the module, week 1. You click on the ellipsis, you can edit, you can move contents, you can move your module, you can delete the whole module, you can send the module to another user, you can copy the module to a different course. So if I wanted to edit my module, I can change the name, week, maybe I want to call it Unit 1, for example. So depending on how you organize your course, you can name these things whatever you want. You can add lock until, so maybe you don't want a module available until a certain date. You can do that. You can add a prerequisite. So if you want students to complete certain things before they get access to the next module, you can add that. My only warning is the more that you try to lock down and micromanage in here, the more you have to sort of manage. So, but sometimes you want students to complete something before they can access something else. So you can also edit content. So I talked about being able to indent things. You can increase your indent. So now I've just increased my indent for overview. So that just looks a little cleaner because now I have the parent title is week 1. And then overview is nested under that. And then week 1 welcome is nested under overview. So you can control how much you indent things to a certain degree. You can go up to like 3 indentions. It's very easy to move things around a module. You hover over the button here on the left and you get a crosshatch, and you can just drag and drop things wherever you want them. When you add new content to a module, it always shows up down at the bottom of the module. So you would always have to move it and drag and drop it to where you would like it to be. So let's go ahead and create a new module. So you would click create module, and you can call it, let's just call this one week 3. and you end up with a module down here with nothing in it. And then you can add text headers to provide that structure. So we're going to add an item and we're going to call it a text header, and we'll call it overview. And I'm going to indent that one level. And then you add the item. And I'm going to add another text header, and I'm going to call it reading. And I'm going to indent that one level and add item. So that's how you add to a module. I can, and once again, drag, and you can drag and drop it. Say if you want your readings first. Since you have a couple of modules in your courses for fall, you don't like the headings that are in there, or if you want to delete, let's say you're not going to put an overview at all in any of your modules, you could click edit and you can just remove it. I'm going to do that down here before. Oops. So you can edit that and you can remove that section of the module, and it gives you a little message at the top. You sure you want to do this, and you click OK. If you like the idea of an overview, but you want to call it something else, you can edit that and you can call it, maybe you want to call it the weekly snapshot. And then you can update the name of it. So there's a lot of versatility in how you do modules in here. Now I talked about duplicating a module. Let's say this is a structure you landed on, rename things the way you want things, and you have your basic weekly structure, or maybe you have a module for every class meeting or one module for 2 weeks. You can go ahead with that structure and you can duplicate that module. And then it will show up down below and you'll have the word copy, and you'll just have to go in and edit that to be, let's just call it week 2 because we don't have week 2 yet, an update module. So it's really easy to create that basic structure of your modules and duplicate. Now, one of the things that can feel a bit overwhelming is that there's a lot of scrolling going on here. So one of the things that you can do is you can collapse all of your modules, and then this is the look that you have. So then if you want to go in and just work on week 2, for example, you can just expand week 2 and make your edits, add your content, and then collapse it back down again. And this is really helpful for students too, because, after a whole term, you can have quite a lot going on in modules. So that collapse and expand option is really helpful. So let's go back into, why is that not staying? Uh-oh. Misbehaving for me. Okay, so it doesn't normally do that. I don't know why it was just doing that for me. So if you want to add content under your text headers, you would click the ellipsis over here. And I'm sorry, not that. You would click the plus sign on the parent at the parent level of your module. You click to add content up here. Okay, I don't know why this is misbehaving for me. I'm going to jump out of modules and jump back in. Sometimes when I share my screen, Canvas misbehaves a little bit. So, all right, let's try this again. Okay. So I've now clicked to add something new to my module. This time I'm going to create an assignment. You have different options. You can add an assignment, a quiz, a file, a page, a discussion, a text header, which we've already done, an external URL, or an external tool. So let's just add an assignment, and I'm going to call this assignment 1. Once you've started adding things in modules, previous names for one particular course, previous names of assignments and things will pop up. You can create new assignments as well. If if you're just going to name everything assignment 1, assignment 2, it's kind of handy to just click the previous name and then go in there and edit it. But you can also just create an assignment and you can call it whatever you want. Name it, choose to indent it, say, okay, I'm going to indent by 2 levels. Romana?
I had a problem when I did what you're suggesting, which is I would pick assignment 1 and then I would edit it and it would change the earlier instance. The only ones that for me anyway, that showed up under assignments with names were existing assignments. And it changes the old one as well as where you put it. So I had to make a new one if I wanted
to
have it do that.
Yeah. Okay, so create the new assignment. I'm indenting at 2 levels and you click add item. And like I said, anything new you add ends up at the bottom and you need to move that up and nest it under the header that you want it to be at. And I did, you're right, Ramona, because what happens is there's an integration between modules and assignments and modules and discussions. So if you add an assignment and modules and you haven't yet created that assignment, it creates an assignment shell for you, an assignment. So that's what happens if you try to do what I just poorly told you to do, where you can click the name of a previous assignment and then edit it. It will fill in that assignment content. So don't listen to me there. That was poor instruction on my part. So now I have this assignment shell that's been created, but I actually haven't gone in and built the assignment. So you would have to click on that and that takes you to the assignment and then you can edit it and add the assignment there. But that's what's kind of nice about Canvas is there's that integration between discussions and assignments and quizzes as well, that allows you to put content in a module. It creates the shell for that content, and then you can go in and actually build that out later. So that's how you add content. So I can add a discussion. Let's actually do a discussion, create topic, discussion 3. You would probably name those something a little more interesting than that. And once again, and I forgot to indent that one. So you would nest that under discussions. I need to go and fix the indent, and I'm going to increase my indent twice. And so that's how you add content into modules. Any questions so far? And like I said, if there's something, let's say you get a little behind in class and you have a reading assigned for week 1 or week 5, and maybe you're behind and you want to move some of your readings around, you can take a reading, for example, or an assignment from another module and drag it down and drop it. Now, that's a question I've been asked is, I give my students the reading list at the beginning of the term with all the due dates, and we get behind in class and I have to constantly be adjusting that. So you can easily drag and drop, change due dates, things like that in here to move things around for students. Any questions about modules? Okay. So another way of organizing content, I think modules are amazing. I think that they work beautifully for organizing, creating structure and meaningfully organizing content. But there's also another option called Pages. And Pages is something that you can also create and build contents in, and you can attach your pages, link your pages to things in modules. Some people, and I hesitate to say this, but if modules feels a little overwhelming at first when you're getting used to Canvas, Maybe you can organize with pages and then move to modules for the spring term. I want to give options because it's really helpful for students to have their course content in something like Canvas. It's just a centralized location. But pages, I'm going to just start at the beginning of pages. When you first click on pages in course level navigation, you're taken to your home page, which is this page right here. But if you click the view all pages button, you can see any page that's been created in the course. So I created a week 1 overview page, and I have the overview for the week. I have the readings linked. I have the discussion prompt. I have the assignment. I have information about group work, and I have a quiz. And what's nice is you can link in your page to those different things as well, like in modules, basically. So you can have a link to the actual discussion. You can have your discussion prompt here with it actually linked to the discussion in the course. You can link to your assignment. Yeah, I would obviously put more information about the assignment and then have the link there. You can link to your quiz. And so this is another way you can organize content in the course. And so you can see that you can have a page for every single week and just keep adding pages. You can have a page specific to discussions, maybe with all the discussion prompts. You can have a page for, for each assignment with more detailed information. You can make pages what you want, or you can just not use pages at all. It's up to you. So once you are in a page and you need to edit it, you just click edit and you get your rich content editor, and you can add anything you want in here. You can add images. One thing to remember, we've all been in a position where we've published an assignment, given an assignment out to students, maybe provided a syllabus, and then you realize there's something that needs to be edited in there, revised in there. So anytime you come in and you open up an assignment you've already created, or a page or a discussion, anything to make an edit, make sure you click this box right here, notify users that this content is changed, because then that will send a notification through email that something's changed in that assignment or that page, and they'll know. Otherwise, they're not going to necessarily know that. So that's how you get into and edit a page. Always make sure you click save. For students to view pages, obviously they have to be published. You can always jump into student view and see what it looks like on the student's end, which looks almost just like it looks for you. So excuse me, pages is another great way to organize course content. So to create a new page, to add a new page, remember, I went a little fast right there. When you're in pages, you have to click this view all pages button, and you can add a page, and you can call this week 2 overview, and you can add your content here. And you can choose when you publish a page. But if you don't mind having all your pages published at the beginning of the term, or you sort of add them along the way, you don't have to worry about publishing it on a certain date. You can add this to the to-do list that students see on their dashboard. So, but you would have to add it to their to-do list, you would have to add dates here. Whenever you're adding dates for anything in Canvas, you choose the date, you can put the time, and you can put a timestamp in there. You don't have to put a specific timestamp in there, but if you are someone who likes things in by 6 o'clock, assignments, for example, in by 6 p.m., whenever they're due, then you can put an actual timestamp on there. Otherwise, it's defaults to 11:59 p.m. for whatever date you choose. And you want to make sure you save and publish once you are sure that you've done everything on the page that you need to do. But don't fret if you publish, you save and publish, and you've made a big mistake, because you can easily edit anything like that. So now I've just added that week 2 overview. So now I have another page. You can also choose which page you want to be a front page. So there's already a home page in your course, but you can, if you want to create a new page and make that your home page, you can do that as well. So right now I have this welcome page as my front page. I'm going to remove that as my front page, and I'm going to make week 1 overview my front page. But you have to have a page published in order for it to be a home page. So now it says use as front page. Now that's my front page. So anyhow, those are pages. A lot of opportunity to get creative with your pages, provide a lot more detail to students about assignments and anything in your course. So one thing with pages too that's pretty exciting is you can view page history. And you can see all the revision history for a page. If in the event you have accidentally deleted a large chunk of content from a page and you would like to get it back, you can go back to that revision and you can restore to that revision. This was my latest revision where I just was, but I can go back to the revision at 10:46 or at 10:45 and I can restore. So it's a great way to get back something you've accidentally removed. Any questions there? Okay, so we're going to move into assignments. So assignments in Canvas you can just have a list of assignments, you can group assignments, and when students view assignments, what's nice is when they view, they're only going to see anything I've published. That's why there's less here in student view. They'll see down here assignment dates, things like that. I'm going to actually publish all of these. Then we go into student view. So now when a student sees an assignment, if you have due dates and everything in there, you have point structures, they'll see all of that about each assignment. And they'll also be able to see, once an assignment has been graded, they'll also be able to see how many points they received out of the total points. So it's just a nice way for students to view information. I don't have information for everything in here, so for the undated assignments down here, but the more information you can add about an assignment, the more helpful it is for students to stay on track. So you can add assignment groups. So let's go ahead and add an assignment. So this looks very similar to pages, to everything else. Whenever you open anything to create in here, you get that rich content editor. So assignment name, and we'll just call this assignment 5. And you would add your assignment content here, describe all the details about your assignment. You can add insert links. Yesterday we talked about files, so you can insert course links. And so if you've uploaded assignments information, Oh, yes, Polly, I will get to that. And we'll talk more about that Thursday too. Polly asked about if there's the option for assigning a letter grade, and there is. So,
Thank you.
so if you've uploaded, it's great to just to upload as much into your files ahead of time, because then you can pick and pull from that when you create all the content in your course. But I'm just going to pick one of these random things in here. So I'm just going to add assignment 2 to assignment 5. So whatever file that you've uploaded for your assignments, you would be able to add a link to that in here. And that might be all you need to add if that link contains all the details of your assignment. You give it number of points, but you can display your grade as a percentage, complete, incomplete points, a letter grade. If you use letter grades, Polly, you need to view the grading scheme, and I'll show you that in just a second. And then submission type, online, on paper, external tool. So let's choose online, and they can do a file upload, for example, and you can let them attempt unlimited times, or you can lock down and say they get only one try to submit this assignment. Now, since I chose file upload, I received the option for plagiarism review. Does anybody here use Turnitin?
Yes.
Okay.
I do, yeah.
Okay, good. So Turnitin has been in, we just got that integrated. So plagiarism review, choose Turnitin. And then you can make your choices here, and you can choose to show the report to students immediately, after the assignment's graded, never, whatever. You can make your choices there. You can choose this as a group assignment or not. You can do peer reviews. Peer reviews is an option where you can have students review each other's work. And you can choose that they are done anonymously. You can automatically assign peer reviews, or you can manually assign them. If you automatically, you can just say, you know, one review per user, and then you can add a due date on that. And you can choose who to assign it to. Sometimes, so let's say that I choose this assignment's going to be due May 10th. And the assignment will be available from May 3rd through May 12th, for example. If you have a student who might need a special arrangement for an assignment, let's say you've added your assignment, it's been in the system, but you have a student who is just gotten behind for maybe health reasons, whatever, you can add a separate assignment for one person with different due dates. Or you can just not lock down the original due date so that a student can turn something in late. But you can assign specific things to specific people in here. And so I'm going to assign this to everyone. And then you create your assignment. And now you have assignment 2 done. Now, Polly, you asked about the letter grades. And so when you use letter grades, you have to check out the grade, make sure the grading schema matches what you want. And you would access that in settings. And you would go to it's just enable grading scheme. You just have to scroll down. This has kind of got a lot going on in here. Enable grading scheme. And then this shows up, and you can set your grading scheme the way you want. So this is the grading scheme that's in here, but you can create a new one by managing grading schemes. You can add a grading scheme, make it what, and we'll talk more about this Thursday. I don't want to get into this real deep today. Create your own grading scheme, name it. You have to name it. So let's see, Polly's grading scheme, and save it. And then when you're in here, enable grading scheme, set grading scheme, select another scheme. I'm going to choose this one and use this grading scheme, and done. So that was really fast. It's not the most intuitive looking thing in here. So you kind of have to search for the little box under grading scheme and do it. So, but there is an option to create your own grading scheme in here. Any questions about that so far?
Yeah, yes, thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. Other we have VoiceThread in here. Does anyone use VoiceThread? Or does anyone use Perusal? Okay. Perusal is available in here. Perusal is in your let's see, actually I think I took it out when I was changing my course level navigation around. So Perusal is in your course level navigation. Like I said earlier, if you don't want it there, just move it down. Media gallery is studio's actually going to go away. So anyway, if you have videos you want to upload to your course, anything like that, those would go into your media gallery for your course. Nothing's in here now, so, but we can and the integration, if you want to add media, if you have YouTube media, anything that's video related, Kaltura is what we're going to be using in here. When you first click on it, you're going to have to do this authorization. So just click authorize, and then you will be able to add media here. Just know that you will have that authorize button you have to click initially. And you can add anything you might want to add there. And Perusal is the same way. I know none of you mentioned that you use Perusal, but I will show you real quick that I'm going to just drag it back up here. If you do click Perusal, there's an initial, if you learned about Perusal and thought, hey, this is great, I think I would like to use it, you are going to get this initial box and you have to click the I've read and agree and submit. And then they'll give you a little tour of it. Perusal's something where students can collaborate around documents, and they can do annotations, things like that. I personally have never used it, but I'm going to get some training on it so I can train people on how to use it. But it might be something fun and new to try. But it's available. Zoom is in here. I mentioned this yesterday. There's a funny little message we're getting with Zoom. Just ignore it, and you can just click this and it'll take you to your Zoom interface. Hopefully we'll fix that little error message. And one thing that the course has is there's analytics that you can view. One of the things, if you go into modules, you can view progress. So you can click student, you can view student progress in the modules. You can click on a student and you can see, so obviously I'm the only student in this course right now, so I've completed module 1, but I haven't completed the rest. So you can view your students' progress. Another way to view the people in your course is if you view people, and you'll get your whole roster listed here, and you can look at their last activity and their total activity. So if you have a lot of robustly developed content in Canvas for your course, and you have some students who you're maybe a little concerned about, and you can come here and see what their activity looks like, and see, oh wow, they haven't logged in 5 days. So that can be helpful too. There's another level of analytics in the course called new analytics, which it's disabled in your course template right now, but you can always move it up. And that allows you, I don't have much, I wouldn't be able to show you this very well right now, but it allows you to look at averages for course assignments, things like that. But it's a pretty cool tool if you want to dabble in it, and it's much better than the previous analytics that were available in the course. It's a new one. One thing I will tell you, in case you don't attend Thursday's training, with quizzes, if you create a quiz, there's two options with quizzes. There's classic quizzes and there's new quizzes. This is classic quizzes, but classic quizzes is going away. It's going to get, I don't know how Canvas's exact sunsetting date for classic quizzes. So if you build quizzes, build them in new quizzes, because the classic is going to go away.
Can I ask a question about that? Because I wanted to occasionally do keep, stop, start with my students, and classic quizzes was the required one if you wanted to have something under the survey type of quiz.
Okay.
Is there going to be something like that in the new quizzes?
I will check. Let me check into that. I assume so, but I shouldn't assume anything. I will definitely check into that. And I will get back to you about that one. So that was a lot today. Any questions? Anything you want me to follow up on besides what Romana just mentioned? Thursday, we'll talk about quizzes, grading, and rubrics. But other than that, that's all I have for today.
Okay, well, thank you. And I'm still interested in the recording because obviously I will not be able to retain all this.
And also, just to remind, exactly, if you have any questions for me, there's my email in the chat. Just don't hesitate to reach out. If I don't have an answer, I will find one for you. Okay, well, I will hopefully,
Hey, Sarah, I have a few questions for you. They're not really specifically about the class, but it's just about kind of some auxiliary stuff. And I was wondering if you could just talk to a few minutes after we end here.
yeah, I'm going to go ahead and stop my recording. But I will, you are more than welcome to